Hi, welcome to Attainable Green. I'm Jess, and today I want to share with you a couple of tips to get through a heat wave when dealing with orchids. Also, I'm going to show a couple of ways to tell heat stress on your plants. So, let's begin. Here in Southern California, summer starts early, and with this first heat wave, the temperatures have jumped almost 10 degrees from 70 to 80 degrees in less than a couple of days. And that means a lot of my orchids aren't acclimated to that huge jump in temperature. So I want to protect them from getting any sunburn or heat stress during that time. Part of my collection is grown indoors and part of my collection is grown outdoors. As for the outdoor plants, they have to take the brunt of more extreme weather patterns. Most of them can handle the heat, like Cattleyas and Vandatypes. However, my Oncidiums, especially my Miltoniopsis and Zygopetalums, don't do so well in hotter weather. They spent most of the winter outdoors, but now as we head towards summer, it may be time to bring them indoors and protect them from the higher temperatures. Here are a couple of things that I've learned to help my orchids get through a heat wave without any major issues. So first, keep the orchids hydrated. Usually, before a very hot day, I water my plants very thoroughly. I want to make sure that the roots can uptake as much water as possible and the plant is well hydrated. That way, when the temperatures roll in, there'll be less heat stress because they have a lot of water to come. Depending on how long the heat lasts, I may water the plants during the heat wave. And at that time, I try to water early in the morning or early in the evening. I want to avoid the hottest times of the day. Because 1, I don't want to lose the water to evaporation, and 2, I don't want to cause too many extreme temperature differences between the hot temperatures and the cool water. 2, keep up the humidity. As the temperatures rise, so should the humidity. But here in Southern California, it's kind of the opposite. The hotter it gets, the drier it gets, and that's very bad for my plants. They'll start to dry out, and the plants can easily get sunburned that way. So I have to do as much as I can to maintain the ambient humidity around the plants to make sure that they do okay. A couple of ways to increase the humidity can be through a humidifier, a humidity tray, or any humidity, or a container to increase the humidity in a certain area. If you've ever been to an orchid nursery or even to a botanical garden, you'll know that the majority of orchids do well in more humid conditions. The more hot and humid it is, the less the plants transpire and the less that they lose water through their leaves. So by increasing the humidity, you also help the plants survive the heat. Number 3, keep them shaded. For a short heat wave, it's fine to move the plants from a sunny location to a more shaded location. That way the plants don't burn in the bright hot sun, and with cooler temperatures in the shade, it will do much better. If you can't move their location easily, sometimes you can use a shade cloth to help block out some of the sun's rays and decrease the amount of light and heat that is transferred. Also, if the plants really aren't doing well in its current location, it may be best to bring them indoors or to another space where the temperatures are a lot lower. Number 4, keep the air moving. As the temperatures rise and humidity increases, you want to increase the airflow. By keeping the air moving, we're going to bring fresh air and cool off the plant. Using a fan or something similar to generate some air movement is great for keeping the plants healthy. However, it may cause the plants to dry out a little bit faster. So it's good to balance out how much wind or movement you create and how much humidity will be available to the plant. Also, by increasing some air movement, it will prevent the plants from being too stressed and inviting pathogens or pests from attacking it. Number 5, keep the plants cool at night. As the sun sets and the temperatures cool off, it's good to let the plants breathe a little bit. A drop in temperature allows them to regain their strength for the next day to deal with the heat. And also, most plants like a drop in temperature anyways to maintain the health of the plant. So those are my tips for keeping orchids cool during a heat wave. Now that we know how to keep orchids cool, what does heat stress look like in a plant? There are a few physical indicators that let you know that the plant is stressed and not doing well in the heat. These are not comprehensive, but just a couple of observations that I've found to be helpful. Most of the time, you'll be able to tell how a plant is by what the leaves look like. The first sign may be wilted or limpy leaves. You'll notice that the leaves start to droop instead of being nice and firm. Also, the leaves may start to look a little dehydrated and may start to take on a wrinkled or leathery appearance depending on the type of leaf. As the plant starts to get more dehydrated, you may notice some yellowing at the leaf tips or browning and drying off of the leaf. The pseudobulbs or canes may also start to look shriveled. Also, if it's dehydration coupled with intense sunlight, then sunburn can occur on the plants. When the leaves get sunburned, the cell walls collapse, and in thick, fleshy leaves, they could start to look like pitting. For thinner leaf plants, you may start to notice a yellow ring or a brown ring, and slowly the center of that spot may start to dry out. So those are a couple of things that I found to be helpful in determining if my plant is stressed or not. And hopefully that was helpful to you too. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Attainable Green, for all the latest updates. And hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Bye!